صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا.
اللهم صل على محمد
وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. I believe today we are starting lesson 25, right?
Yes.
Yes. Magnified nouns, right? Am I right? I don't know.
25 years.
Yes.
25 years.
Yes.
Yeah, lesson 25.
We did 24 last week.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. This lesson, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Today we are going to do the lesson number 25 called Magnified Nouns. Magnified nouns are known in Arabic as Asma'ul MUKABBARAH. Let me see this. See, nouns, some nouns in Arabic are divided in two ways. One, let me put it this way. I call Al-Asma'u Al-Mukabbara. Now, the word Al-Asma, you know, is the plural of Ism, right? Now, alhamdulillah, we know it's not by now. Al-Mukabbara, from the word Kabir. Kabir, which means what? Big, yeah. So Asma'ul Mukabbara means what? Means big nouns. But that's if you want to translate it like literally, right? But here in grammar, they call it magnified. Meaning what? Names that are used to say, to call certain people, you want to give them more respect. Okay? More respect. To show your gratitude and your respect to this person, those nouns are called Asma'ul Mukabbar. Okay? This is versus, we didn't get there, but just to give us an idea. This is versus another noun which is called Al-Asma Al-Musaghara. Let me give you an example. Like I said, Kubra, Sughra. Right? Sughra is what? Major. Sughra means minor, and Kubra means what? What do you call major. So the same thing. Asma al-Musaghara, there are certain names, you put them in a way to mean that small. Okay? Small. Let me give you an example. Like when you say here, Lil Kubra, you say the word Ibn. Means a son. Right? Now you want to say a little son. You say what? Bunayya. Right? Means my little son. And you can see this in the Quran. In Surah Luqman. Luqman, when he was talking to his son, he said, Ya Bunayya. Yusuf alayhi salam, his father also is what Yusuf. When he was talking to Yusuf, he said, Ya Bunayya la taqsus ru'ya. Don't share my little son. Don't share your story to other children. Right? Now, this bunayya, we don't come there, but I'm just giving you an idea. This bunayya is used, Asma'ul Musaghara, is used for two purposes. Purpose number one is called ihtiram wal mahabba. If you want to respect somebody, you want to also, show your love to your little child. You say, oh, my little son. That's called as musaghara al-ihtiram wal-mahabba, for love and respect. Right? And then you have the second one, which is called ihtiqar, which is opposite of this, disrespect.
What's the second letter?
Mahabba, ihtiram.
No, on this one.
This one, ihtiqar. Ihtiqar, let me write it proper. Al-ihtiqar, which is disrespect. Haqi, ahsan. So sometimes you call somebody, right, in this musaghar, not that you want to respect. You want to tell them, you know what, you are just a little guy. Don't think that you're what you think. Right? For example, you use the word rajulun. Rajulun means what? A man. You want to disrespect somebody, you say, you know what, you are not even a man, you are a little man. Right? What do you say? You say rujailun. Meaning, you are a small man. Right? So this one is what? For disrespect. So it's used for two purposes. Sometimes he uses ismul musaghara to show somebody the love, the respect, and sometimes he can use it for what? For disrespect. So sometimes it can tell in the sentence, the way you put it, it tells that you use it for respect or for disrespect. Okay? That is to give us an idea. But today we're going to talk the nouns that are known for mukabbar. Okay, which is magnified nouns in Arabic. Okay? Now let's go to the book. The book says that AL-ASMA al-MUKABBARAH, example of those. Anybody need this or I can raise it? Okay. The example of Asma al-MUKABBARAH, the magnified nouns, as the book stated, some of the examples are, number one, the word ab, which in Arabic means what? A father. Okay? It means a father in Arabic. And you know, in Arabic, in Islam, we have a father, three kinds of fathers, right? There is a father who's a biological father, right? The person that relates to you by blood, the cause of your existence. That's called ab. That is number one. Number two, the way the ab also is used for uncles. Okay? And the Quran is used, uncle is used the word ab too. And that's why you see in the Quran, Surah Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he's talking about his uncle, قال يا أبت لم تعبد ما لا يسمع ولا ينفع. My father, why are you worshiping? It wasn't his biological father. Because he's ma'soom, his father cannot be idol worshiper. His father has to be wal-arham al-mutahhara. Every ma'soom, his father has to be a religious or God-fearing person. Right? But he called it, Sulaiman said, Prophet Ibrahim, Ya abati, oh my father. Right? So the word ab is used for uncles as well. That's number two. Number three, the word ab also is used for a teacher. Right? Now you know the Prophet Imam Ali, when he says, Ya Ali, ana wa anta abawa hadhihi al-ummah. Ya Ali, you and I, we are the fathers of this ummah. Which father are we talking about? The father of being a teacher of this ummah. Not biological father. Because when you go to the biological father, Allah says, no. مَا كَانَ مُحَمَّدٌ أَبَا أَحَدٍ مِّن رِجَالِكُمْ. Allah says, Muhammad is not any of your fathers. Meaning what? Through the blood he's talking about. But the father of being the teacher, the Quran says, Surah Al-Jum'ah, هُوَ الَّذِي بَعَثَ فِي الْأُمِّيِّينَ رَسُولًا مِّنْهُمْ يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتٍ وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ وَيُعَلِّمْ. Teaches. Who's the teacher? So that's called ab as well. That's number three. Number four is what? Al-ab, which is the in-laws. Okay? And in-law is a father too. That Islam says your father-in-law, your mother-in-law, they are the same level as your biological parents. They also have the same respect as well. Okay? So that is the way the al-ab here, which means usually the main name is called, it's used for a father. That's number one. It's called Asma al-Mukabbar. Number two is called the word the akh. Akh means brother. Okay? Brother. And akh also in Islam has three kinds. There are three kinds of brothers. Okay? There is akhun, is called fiddima, fiddam. Which means what? Brotherhood by blood. Absolutely. Like someone you share the same father, the same mother, one, you know, half brother, half sister, is brother in blood. Ad-dam in Arabic means blood. Okay? Number two is called akhun fil khilqa. Al-khilqa. By creation, that's right. Meaning, he's human being like you. He has a nose, he has a feelings, he has two legs, he has everything like you. It's called akhun as well. Right? And then the third one is called akhun fid din. Brother in religion. Right? And you see, amazing, when you go to Nahj al-Balagha, Imam Ali alayhi salam, when he was sending Malik al-Ashtar, he pointed at all these brotherhood in there. And I always say, I wish, and I wish, and I wish the leaders of the world will read the letter of Imam Ali that he gave to Malik al-Ashtar. How a leader should treat people. How the leader should expect from people. And how should the relationship of a leader and the people should be. Imam Ali mentioned that in details. And I can say, and Allah is the witness, if the leaders of the world are to follow that teachings of Imam Ali, the world will be the better place for everybody. It will be the best place for everybody. But unfortunately, I really hope that someday United Nations will take a look at this and at least give it a chance for the leaders to consider those beautiful wisdom and golden words of Imam Ali in that letter of Malik al-Ashtar. Because it's amazing. You know what he said? Let me just share part of that khutbah of Imam Ali. He said, he was talking to Ya Malik al-Ashtar. Part of it, he said, An-nasu sinfan. People that you're going to govern them to be their leader. He said, keep in mind, there are three kinds. Imma akhun fi dam, either they are brothers in blood. Number two, or fil khalqa, or they are brothers in your creation. They are fearless like you do. Or nadir, or fi deen, or they are brothers of yours in religion. He said, you would not, if they said Imam Ali, he said, you would not in any chance you would not take any chance of oppressing anyone that has to do with you as a brother. Right? I say yes, if they are your brothers, either this or that, would you think about even oppressing your brother? If you look at that, this person that I'm oppressing, he's my brother, then the oppression would not even come there. That is the perspective of Imam Ali alayhi salam. That look at the people as your brothers. And that makes things much easier according to the saying of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Now, that is that one. Now the next one is called, the third one the book mentioned is the word fam. Fam in Arabic means mouth. Okay? Fam or famun is mouth. Also is as one of the asma'ul mukabbara. Now the book said that when these are in the form of mudaf, the i'rab will be as follows. Okay? If those words that we mentioned, like I said, abun, akhun, famun, if you are to attach them to another noun, right? You decide to attach them to another noun, then they have to change. If you decide to attach them to something, then they change. How do they change? Here he gives us some examples. It can change sometimes to kasra, or it can change to fatha, or change to dhamma. Now for example, you say abun, that's the first one, right? Now if you attach it, it becomes abi. Right? Now let me give you an example. You have the word here. You have the word abun, right? Abun. That's a father, right? Now you want to attach it. Let's say you attach the word Abdullah. Right? What would it be? Ahsant Abi Abdullah. Right? So here instead of abun, then you add the ya. Now the ya is what? Is that the joining between the ab and Abdullah. So it becomes Abi Abdullah. That's why sometimes say Bi Abi Anta wa Ummi, or Bi Abi Abdullah. Okay? So because we are attaching this ab to ya, so then we have to say Abi at that point. Okay? That is example. Now or sometimes it becomes, which one? Abdul. Yes, it's going to be Abdi. Abi Abdullah. Yes. Then the do here also changes, because at that point, this is attached to ya, and this word also is attached to this. So this one has to be kasra too. So it becomes Abi Abdullah. Okay? So that is that one. That is if in the attachment is because of the ya. And this the kasra will be at on the ba at that point. So instead of Abu, it becomes Abi. The ba comes with the kasra at that point. Now sometimes it becomes Aba. Aba. Right? Aba. Instead of Abun, it's Aba. When is that? If you add the word Ya in front of it, for example, you say Ya Aba Abdullah. Right? Ya Abul Fadl al-Abbas. You cannot say Ya Abul Fadl al-Abbas. No. In Farsi, you see them, they right there. Sometimes I see they wrote here. Grammar-wise, it's wrong. In Arabic, in Farsi, it's fine. Because they don't have that rule in Farsi. But in Arabic, whenever Ya comes, then you have to be Aba. In Surah Yusuf, the children of Yusuf alayhi salam, after they realized their mistake, they said, Ya Abana astaghfir lana. It's Ya Abana, oh our father. Okay? So Aba here is the Abu is changed to Aba when the Ya comes in front of it. Okay? So that is Aba. And then also sometimes it can be Abu. Okay, with the Wa. Okay, like it's Abu Abdullah. If there is nothing there, if you are not attaching it to anything, it can be Abu in that situation. Now, another example, the Akhi or Akha or Ahu. That's number 2. Number 3, Fi or Fa or Fu. And that is from the mouth, depending on the sentence. Sometimes it comes Fi, sometimes it comes Fa, sometimes it comes Fu as well.
So how do we differentiate Fi from me?
Like a half jar? Yeah, that's right. Because Fi here is a noun. Right? It's a noun. So what you see is that if it's a noun, then there have to be something in front of it. For example, say fi. Let me say. Sometimes I think it's in Quran somewhat. Fi. It's a fihi. For example, right? Now fi here, you know that this is what? This is harful jar, right? But when you say he here, then you know that because fi always goes with the what? With the noun. Because fi doesn't go by itself. It always go with the noun. So when I see this harful jar and then next to it that there's fi, then I know that this is what? It's a noun. That's a sign. Because harful jar doesn't come by itself unless it's connected to the noun. So then I know that this fi here is a noun. Why? Because it doesn't label that it's harful jar.
And you said Abi and Abi. So what do you say for my brother and my father?
That's right. That my brother, I say Akhi. That's my brother. That's you're attaching the brother to yourself. Right? Like in Surah, I believe Surah Sad, it said, Inna hadha akhi lahu tis'un wa tis'una na'ja. In the case of the test of Prophet Dawood alayhi salam, he was in the chamber, locked doors, you know, and you remember, I think I mentioned this before, that he used to divide his time into 5, right? The time for just Allah. Then 2 angels pops up in the form of human being. One of them says, Inna hadha akhi. This is my brother. So how did he say it? I mean, he says, Inna hadha akhi. Akhi means my brother. Right? So we have akhi here. Akhi. Right? Now this akhi here, we have the word the akh, which is the brother. Right? This ya is called ya'ul mutakallim, the pronoun of the speaker, the first person. So now you're attaching this to yourself, akhi. So in that case, it becomes what? With the kasra. That is if you attach it to yourself. Now, if you say, for example, ahuhu, let's say his brother. You want to say his brother, then it becomes ahuhu. Ahu means brother, hu means his. Right? So that is ahu. Okay? But also, as I said, if you want to say, let's say, akha, you say, ya akha Muhammad, for example. Oh, Muhammad's brother. Right? So you say, ya akha. So akha is because of the what? Ya. So it goes to fatha at that point. Okay, so that is what it is. So when you attach it to yourself, like speak akhi or akhu, who, for example, to third person, or akha to the second person.
My question is,
Yes.
look at the chart, Abu, Akhu, and Fu.
Yes.
Sometimes it ends with Alif. You know, usually,
Yes.
not these words, but I've seen that ends with Alif.
Right.
Or with Alif.
Yes.
So, in what cases it takes Alif? It's not here.
Yes. Like, for example, when the word is plural of masculine. Okay? Plural of masculine, when you write it, N is formed from the present tense, and then the alif have to be at the end. Yes. Because let me put it this way. Let me say this. I don't know if the question is clear. The question of brother is clear? No, good. Okay. They say that sometimes you see some sentence, right? The end of the letter ends with waw and alif. right? For example, let me give you an example. Let's say خلقوا. That's how it's written, right? خلقوا means they created, right? So here, why is it that sometimes it ends with the sukun, right? Now, this is the reason. See, in this is a past tense, right? Go. Now, this alif here, in some grammar, they said, is one of the sign of masculine plural. And indicate about what? It's the plural of masculine in Arabic. So that's why you end with waw and alif. So these two are like the sign of masculine in the past tense. As in the plural, sometimes we say waw and noon. Like you say, muslimuna, mu'minuna. Right? But here in the past tense, waw and alif is the sign of the plural like that.
So it will be Muslimu, or if you want to convert Muslim.
No, yeah, if you want to say, let's say aslamu. Usually see that in the past tense is what you see that. Aslamu means they became Muslim. But whom? Plural of male. Right? So the waw and the alif is the sign of the plural here in this sign. Okay? Ahsan. You say amanu. Inna alladhina amanu. So this waw and alif is the sign of the plural for masculine in this example. So that is that one. Now we go to some of the example of the book. The book gives us some example. The first example is wa abuna shaykhun kabir. In Surah, I believe in Surah Taha. It's talking about Prophet Musa alayhi salam. After he left Egypt and went to Midian, and he met the daughters of Shu'aib alayhi salam, and he was asking her, why you guys don't get water? The answer to them the answer to him was wa abuna shaykhun kabir. Here, see, most of the time, who do we call shaykh? Sheikh in we say Sheikh is what? As somebody with a turban, right? But in little Arabic, no. Sheikh is a person that is advanced in age. That somebody a little older, they call him Sheikh. But then it becomes a term in the Hausa system. Right? Let me give you some example. You know, say in the Hausa, they have different, they call it title, they call it. When somebody enters Hausa today, they started learning, they give him a title, and the title is called Fiqatul Islam. Fiqatul Islam means like somebody Islam has a hope he might do something for him. Fiqah, a trust, right? That's the person. Now, after the person goes into the system, we call it al-muqaddimat. The first thing the person starts in the Hausa is called muqaddimat. And it takes like 7 years. Okay? After you finish your muqaddimat, you start at the next level, which is called a sutur. Okay? In the sutur, as soon as you start the sutur, that is when our scholars, they encourage to start, you can start wearing the turban, where you can answer some fiqh question, some historical question. You are aware about some Islamic basic things. Right? You can do janaza, you can do an aqid and so on. At that point, then they give you the second title, and it's called Hujjatul Islam. Okay? That is the next title. Now, after this also, you go through this system for also another 7-8 years too. Right? Until you get to a level where you become in the Bath al-Kharij, which is another high level. Then the title changes from this Hujjatul Islam to become Allama. Okay? Allama is from the word the alim, but Allama is the one who knows a lot. Meaning what? A scholar that now he has the title, he can teach at the higher level in the house. It's called Allama. Good. Now after this, after the person goes to teach and educate themselves also, then they go to another level which they become Ayatullah. Okay? Now after they become the teaching in the house, they teaching, then they take another title also, which is called Ayatullah al-Uzma. The great Ayatullah. Okay? And by the time they get to Ayatullah, most of them they already maraja. Okay, they are marajah, that they are great scholars, that people can become, you know, their followers. And then when they become marja al-ayatollah al-uzma, then mashallah, they are now great scholars that people they know them in the world. Anyway, but then now it became, instead of Hujjat al-Islam, they call what? Sheikh. Okay? So, but literally in Arabic, Sheikh is somebody who is advanced in the age. Okay? Good. Now, the next one is وَوَرِثَهُ أَبَوَاهُ. Okay? In Surah chapter number 4, number 11. Ayah number 11. وَوَرِثَهُ أَبَوَاهُ. Okay? You can see here, وَوَرِثَهُ, meaning, and the parents are in his heirs. Like if a person passes away and you have a parent, the parents are the one who's going to inherit the child. Right? So now, Allah said Abawah. You see that document? Abawahu. Meaning it's two for this from Muthanna. Yes. Here is from Muthanna, which is dual. Okay. Here is called Abawahu. Abawahu. Warithahu Abawahu. Abawahu is for plural. Okay, of two. Meaning what? Abawahu is for mother and the father. Right, so there are two people. So here, warithahu Abawahu. If he was inherited by his two parents. But the word is the word that Abu here, and then we added alif and ha. Okay, it's Abu means a father. Right? And then we added alif and ha. Okay? And it becomes abawahu, meaning his two parents, meaning the deceased. Then the third example, وَرَفَعَ أَبَوَيْهِ عَلَى الْعَرْشِ. The next one it says here, وَرَفَعَ أَبَوَيْهِ Al-Arsh. This is Yusuf alayhi salam. Yusuf alayhi salam, when his father and the mother, they moved from Palestine to Egypt, right? When he saw them, Quran says, وَرَفَعَ. May Yusuf, he raised his father and his mother, Abawayhi. Okay? وَرَفَعَ means to raise. Right? Abawayhi. His parent, Al-Arsh, on the throne. Where he used to sit, he put his father and his mother there for respect and the glorification. So here it says Abawayhi. Okay? Abawayhi. His two parents. The next ayah is وَجَاءُوا أَبَاهُمْ إِشَاءً يَبْكُونَ. Okay? Another example in the Quran, وَجَاءُوا. This is of Yusuf alayhi salam, his brothers too. وَجَاءُوا. See, there's a wow there. Your question. Waja'u, if you looked at this, a wow there. Waja'u abahum isha'an yabkun. They came to their fathers when they were crying. Here, they said, in Arabic, they said al-buka, right? Is two kinds. There is a fake cry and there's a real cry. Right? Here they say, they came, they were crying, right? But which cry was they doing? Is it a real one or fake one? That's a fake one, right? So they came, Quran said, Isha and Yabkun, they were crying. But they were not crying because something real did happen to Yusuf that they don't know about. They did put Yusuf in whatever situation he was. But they were crying, but this crying is a fake crying. But there's a real crying. The real crying is what Islam emphasized in the Quran. Yes.
So, why did the Abba, how did you get Abba from in the sentence?
Abba,
yeah, what's the rule of putting an alif there?
Ahsan. Waja'u, they came, right? Now, who did they came to? Abahum. Abahum is the object in the sentence. Remember in the rule we said that object always have to end with the wa, with the fatha. Good. In these 5 mukabbarat, the sign of fatha is the alif. Okay? So the sign of alif is alif here, the sign of the fatha is alif. So since waja'u, they came. So who did the action of coming? The children, right? Now who did they come to? Abahum. So Abahum is the object here, and it has to be with the fatha, and the sign of the fatha here is what? Is the alif. That's why it became Abahum.
And in the previous one you used ya.
Yes.
What is the rule for that?
Which one? From the abi, because it was attached to their father. Like I said, abi, abawayhi, their father. So they were attaching to him, so that's why it became with the ya. Like you say, for example, bayti. Right? Qala, me, mine. Anytime you attach something to yourself, it has to end with the ya. Right? Abawayhi, their father. Right? So because of the attachment, that's why ya came there. Okay? And then also the next example is qala Yusufu li abihi. Okay? Now look here. Is qala Yusufu li abihi. Why did it end with the ya there? Because of the li. Ahsan. Li abihi. This lam is the cause. It's one of the causes of the noun to change to kasra. It's like harful jar. Right? So the actual word is abu. Right? Abuhu. If you attach it that way. But because of the li, we change it to what? It became li abihi. Okay? So the reason why this became with the ya is because of the li. Okay? That is that. And then the next one, وَاذْكُرْ أَخَا عَادٍ. وَاذْكُرْ. Remember or mention one of the Ad's own brothers. Okay? Here, أَخَا is also the object here. Okay? Remember. Who am I going to remember? The brothers of Ad. So the Ad are the object here. That's why it came with the fatha. Then he says also, كيف يواري سوءة أخيه. Also here, it's about Qabil. After Qabil, the brother of Habil, after he killed his brother, who, you know, Habil was the first human being to die. Before him, nobody died. Among the Ummah of Adam, he was the first person to die. So after he died, his brother who killed him didn't know how to bury him. Quran says he cried for almost 7 days, sitting next to his brother, didn't know what to do. His brother's janazah, he was sitting there, what should I do? Crying. Then Allah sent 2 birds. Okay? And they were fighting each other, and one of them died, and the one who killed the other bird went and dug the ground and took the dead one and then buried them. Okay? Now question. What was Adam? Shouldn't Adam be involved in this, teaching him why and what to do? Yes, but the narration say Allah wanted to punish him for doing what he did, so Allah made him to be alone in this. And you know, one of the Allah's punishment is to leave somebody alone in problems. That's why in some of the narrations say when a person doesn't fear Allah, or when the person doesn't listen to Allah, doesn't obey Allah, Allah put them in the problem where they will be alone and deal with it alone. So the reason why Adam a.s. was not involved, because Allah wanted to punish him. And that's why even Quran says, even here in the world today, if a prisoner doesn't listen, you know what they do to him? Self-prisoner. They put him alone. They excluded him from anybody else. Because then he doesn't have somebody to talk to. He doesn't have somebody to socialize. And that is a punishment. And that is why Quran says, لَقَدْ جِئْتُمُونَا فُرَادًا كَمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ. Yawm al-Qiyamah, when we die, we go alone too. And that is another punishment for that you go alone. And that is why we call it Salatul Wahsha. Meaning what? The prayer of loneliness. Because the person becomes lonely. He has been socializing, mother, father, friends, everybody. But now he's going to be what? Alone. And that itself is a punishment. That is why we are encouraged to do Salatul Wahsha. Okay? So that is that one. He says, كَيْفَ يُوَارِي, how to bury سَوْءَةَ أَخِيهِ, the shame of his brother. Okay? He, the reason why it came with the ya, because it's attached to her. Akhi, like you say, Akhi, my brother. But it's Akhi, he, his brother. So that's why it came with the ya there. And then the next one is قَالَ لَهُمْ أَخُوهُمْ. Okay? When their brother said to them, أَخُوهُمْ. Why did he come with the waw? Because أَخُوهُمْ is the actor, the one who are talking. قال. He's the one saying. So it has to end with the waw in this example. And then the last one he says, إِلَى الْمَاءِ لِيَبْلُغَ فَا. Fa means mouth. Okay? It's a إِلَى الْمَاء. He straight to the water to reach to his mouth. Okay? So the word fahu means his mouth. Okay? So that is fa, for water to reach his mouth. So his, right, is attached to fa. That's what we say fahu.
So that's an object.
That's right. That's right. So you have the masculine is thu and thee and the and thu. Inshallah, this one I prefer we can do it next week, and we can explain more about how you use this and what are the purpose of this, inshallah. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.